Most writers think they need more freedom to write a novel. They don't. What they actually need is less to hold in their head at the same time. And if you have ever opened a Scrivener, felt excited and then strangely overwhelmed, this video will give you a very clear way to understand why. Hi, I'm Andrea, the founder of bibisco, the novel writing software downloaded by more than 200,000 writers around the world. Today, I'm not here to tell you which software is better. I'm here to help you understand which one is right for you. Let's start from something that almost nobody says out loud. Scrivener is not confusing, and if you felt confused using it, it's not because you are not good enough. It's not because you are not organized enough. It's not because you are not technical enough. It's because Scrivener gives you a completely open space. And an open space in writing is not always freedom. Sometimes it's responsibility, a lot of it. When you open Scrivener, you can structure your project in almost any way you want. Folders, subfolders, documents, labels, metadata. You can build your own system from scratch, and for some writers that's exactly what they want. They don't want to be told how to organize their story. They want to decide everything themselves. That's a valid choice, but here is the part that's easy to miss. When you design your own system, you also have to maintain it. And when your novel starts growing, more characters, more scenes, more timelines, that system becomes something you have to constantly manage. Not just the story, but the structure around your story. So what many writers experience is not lack of ability, it's cognitive overload. They sit down to write, and before they can even focus on the scene, they are thinking, what should this go? Is this the right place? Should I create a new folder? How do I track this character? Where did I put that note? And slowly, writing becomes navigation, not storytelling. This is why you'll often hear something like, I love Scrivener, but I feel lost. That sentence is not a contradiction, it's a signal. And here's the thing most software comparisons never tell you. The problem is not the tool itself. The problem is the assumption behind it. The assumption that maximum flexibility is always better. It isn't. Flexibility is powerful only if you already have clarity. If you don't, it amplifies confusion. And this is where bibisco comes from a completely different place. Not better, not worse, just different. Because bibisco starts from a very simple idea. A novel is not just a collection of documents. It's a system of relationships between characters, scenes, events, and time. And if you don't see those relationships clearly, the story starts to slip. So instead of giving you a blank structure to fill, bibisco gives you a narrative frame to work inside. Not to limit you, but to reduce what you have to keep in your head. When you create a character, you are not just creating a note. You are building something that connects to scenes, to relationships, to development over time. When you write a scene, it's not just text. It exists inside a structure where you can understand who is involved, what changes, what role it plays in the story. And when your novel grows, you don't have to remember everything. The system holds it with you. There's a writer who told me, before using bibisco, I had hundreds of notes, files, references, and everything felt scattered. Then, once everything was connected in one place, writing became possible again. If what I'm describing resonates with you, I want you to try bibisco. It's free to download. The link is in the description. Over 200,000 writers have already used it to get back in control of their story. But before you go, stay with me for the next 3 minutes, because I want to show you something very concrete, a side-by-side comparison of what each tool actually does differently. Let's put bibisco and Scrivener side by side, not to score points, but to understand what each one actually includes. Novel outline. Scrivener gives you a generic documents outline. You decide the structure. bibisco gives you a structured outline built around parts, chapters, and scenes, the natural anatomy of a novel. Character tools. In Scrivener, characters are notes or custom templates you build yourself. In bibisco, there is a structured character development system, built-in, ready to use. Timeline. In Scrivener, tracking time in your story requires a manual workaround using metadata. bibisco has a built-in story timeline. Mind maps. Scrivener doesn't include them. You need a separate app, Scapple, to do that. Bibisco includes built-in mind maps inside the same workspace. Novel analysis. Scrivener gives you word statistics. Bibisco gives you narrative and structure analysis, so you can actually see how your story is built. Guided story design. Scrivener offers no narrative guidance. You are on your own. Bibisco guides you through novel development step by step. And finally, the learning curve. Scrivener is steeper. There's a reason there are entire courses just on how to use it. Bibisco is easier to start because the system is already there. Now, does this mean Bibisco is better? No. It means it's built for a different purpose, and that's exactly what we are going to clarify right now. So here is the core contrast between Bibisco and Scrivener. Scrivener says you are free to build your system. Bibisco says you don't have to build everything yourself. And depending on who you are as a writer, one of these will feel natural and the other will feel heavy. Now, this is important. It would be easy to say structure is better than flexibility, but that would be wrong because there are writers who genuinely thrive in open systems. They think in fragments. They like building their own architecture. They enjoy shaping the environment as much as the story itself. For them, Scrivener is not overwhelming, it's empowering. But there are also writers, and this is the majority of people starting or struggling with a novel, who don't need more decisions. They need fewer. They don't need to invent a system. They need to stay oriented inside the story. So the real question is not which software is better, Scrivener or Bibisco. The real question is what kind of problem are you trying to solve? If your problem is I want maximum control over how I organize my writing environment, then Scrivener is a great choice. But if your problem is I feel lost when my story becomes complex, then flexibility is not the solution, it's part of the problem. This is why many writers who try multiple tools eventually realize something simple. They don't need more power, they need more clarity. Bibisco is often described not just as a writing tool, but as a kind of narrative workspace, almost like a quiet guide that helps you keep everything together while you write. Not by telling you what to write, but by reducing the noise around it. If you want to experience what it feels like to write inside a system that holds the complexity for you, download Bibisco for free. The link is in the description. And if this way of looking at writing tools resonated with you, leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Happy writing and see you in the next video.